Hey Virgo, it's Empress Rose here. Welcome to your reading. These are general readings, so take what works, leave what doesn't. Not everything will resonate for every person here. So using your own discernment while watching these general readings in particular is very, very important. So I'm going to be doing a more traditional tarot spread over here, and I'm not putting any extendeds over on Vimeo, although I do have sort of some smaller videos over on Vimeo about the major arcana of the tarot if you're interested in that. So let's see here. We have, Four of Cups, an offer that's either unseen or refused. Denial. Normal with Four of Cups, sometimes this one is a very different depiction than a lot of Four of Cups. Four of Cups, the fours is more of our the softer side of the Kabbalah tree of life. There's been maybe a little bit indulgence usually, and we're stopping a cycle. This one talks more about an offer that isn't acknowledged. So with this one, with Four of Cups, we're going to talk about sort of an offering that is either refused or unacknowledged or unseen, unnoticed. You can be either of these characters. You can be the one doing the offering or the one not accepting it or not turning towards the offering, right? This reminds me of like couples with bids for connection, as the Gottman Institute talks about, right? This is someone making a bid for connection and this is someone refusing it. Neither one of these characters is wrong. They both are just doing their own thing, what they need to do. So an offer and a refusal of an offer, or maybe just an offer and sometimes it's a deep consideration of an offer of still thinking about it. So past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. There are a lot of cups here. There are so many cups. Okay, so that's going to be, this is about emotions, this is about feelings, and this is possibly about some kind of relationship, either friendship, family relationship, or romantic relationship. We've got a couple characters here too. So yeah, a lot of cups. A lot of cups. So we have Three of Cups in the past. This is friendship to me. This is a group of friends, birds of a feather, people that hang out together, a circle of friends, a group of people. This can sometimes be like maybe not usually very related to work, but it depends on what kind of work you do, right? So this is like a circle of friends. You have something in common with all of these people. So oftentimes it's just sharing with friends and hanging out with friends. There is something in common. Oh, they all have the same footwear on. I don't know why I've never noticed that before and why I'm noticing that today. So it's something about, there's something that everyone is similar in, right? They're all doing like a similar activity. So this could be a circle of friends that you have a hobby with, or depending on what sorts of work you do, it could be work friends. There is something that brings you all together. There is a way in which you're very similar with these people. There's a circle of friends, basically. A pretty simple card usually. I don't really, except for those shoes are very interesting. It's like really cute shoes. Love these shoes. And they're all like standing very similarly, right? Like the rest of their outfits are different, but they have like one thing in common, or a circle of friends where you have something in common. But there's also like mutual support here. Everybody's very different, except that there's something that draws you all together. So it could be like a support group or something where you're friends. But current situation, there is someone here who's being very emotionally mature. So King of Cups, I love, this is possibly one of my favorite kings. I love the King of Cups. Emotional depth and emotional maturity together in one person. So we have deep feelings going on here, and yet there's a way, there's some sort of steadiness about it. Something is being held steady, some sort of emotional state. There's messages possibly coming in, but a person, male or female, is, these whales here, these deep whales. I just had a dream about a whale. And it's about like intuition and a deep intuition, a deep knowing. But there's all this like tumultuous emotional territory here. But we're holding steady. So this is someone who can really handle the information that their emotions are bringing to them. They're not flying off the handle about anything. This person's really sad. There's a real depth of emotion, and yet somehow like that's not going with it is making this person sad, or not. The strong depth of emotion, and they're holding steady, but that doesn't mean they're enjoying themselves. This could be you, this could be someone else. I kind of tend to see it as you when a person shows up in the current situation, holding steady, being firm. I feel like a little bit more King of Pentacles in this reading, of someone who's very disciplined, and yet there's some sort of heartbreak going on, and yet they're continuing to remain steady, right? That our kings have this mastery, and mastery of emotions doesn't look like suppression of emotions. Of course, it looks like these are my emotions, these are my feelings. I'm going to feel, I'm going to think about how I want to deal with these feelings, what these feelings are telling me, and how. And there's just like a huge amount of sort of self-control here, and I'm not sure that the emotions are necessarily being suppressed. I think they're trying to suppress. I don't know. Like it's like there's this huge depth of emotion, and someone here is just like, okay. It reminds me of like hearing, when you're really watching someone's eyes, and like they're hearing this like really upsetting news, and they're just like holding steady on some sort of like. Not that you're going to hear upsetting news. We'll see what the rest of the reading says, right? But they're holding steady on the surface, except if you look in their eyes, there's just like a depth of there's sorrow there, and the sorrow may be related to having to hold steady during a tumult, and it could be like this group of friends. It could be something happening with the group of friends, or something happening, and there's just sort of like, no, I'm fine. I'm going to go cry at home for 3 hours after this, but yeah, I'm fine. No, I'm fine. So in your inner landscape, you have Ace of Cups. So this is like hopes and fears, what's going on within you that maybe if you're this, there's like a huge amount of feelings. There's like this King of Cups, which I normally don't see as suppressed feelings. I feel like it's not suppressed, but sort of really strategized. That's where I'm seeing the King of Pentacles here within this King of Cups. It's a strategy of how to deal with this upwelling of emotion. Internally, you've got the upwelling of emotion. So that's what I'm seeing, is this like attempt to maintain steadiness, understanding that is what's required in the situation, is this sort of steadiness, having this internal upwelling, which I'm also seeing here. This and the Ace of Cups normally would be like love and joy, and maybe that's what you want. You're wanting this love and this joy, and what's inside is not necessarily these having butterflies in your stomach, having butterflies in your cup, having butterflies in your heart. It's not necessarily that. What we've got inside are like these deep diving deep, these very not butterfly, like a whale and a butterfly. These are two entirely different things. So you might be wishing that you had butterflies, and instead you're having this intensely, deeply emotional experience where maybe you were expecting or hoping like these butterflies, and this is so exciting. And so there may be some like disappointment or frustration of like, why is this so deep? Why is there so much? Why is this so heavy? Why is this so intense? Shouldn't it feel light? Shouldn't it feel airy? Shouldn't I be feeling like bubbly and excited? But instead there's this intensity. So I see this Ace of Cups of wanting to feel happy, wanting to feel an upwelling of joy. And this King of Cups looks a little confused. And I think like that's sometimes a strategy, is like, I'm having some really deep feelings here. I don't know what to do with them. And so I'm just going to like hold steady here, but the eyes are telling a different story. I think there's a sense of wanting to be happy, of wanting to have like a much lighter, brighter joy here. But instead, what we're experiencing is sort of like a bit of a confusing depth of emotion here, and needing to hold, having to hold steady. The strategy, the necessary strategy, is to hold steady. It's almost like you go out with friends and you find something out that's really deeply unsettling or deeply moves you very deeply. There's messages here, moves you very deeply, and you want to be excited. You think you should be excited, but you're actually really struggling. There's an internal struggle going on here. And so what we have is something feels very unfair, justice in reverse. Something feels very unfair here. That's maybe happened with this circle of friends. Wow, there's like a sense of rejection or something. You're supposed to be happy maybe for other people, but you're not feeling it at all. It feels unfair. Something feels very unfair, very... there may have been some dishonesty that happened. I mean, if you're... Or maybe you're very excited with this Ace of Cups, right? And you're very excited, but you're not being able to show it. There's some sort of emotional thing that I just don't think it's a good strategy to show, whether that's like negative feelings that you don't think you should have, or positive feelings that would be upsetting to someone else. But with this Four of Cups here, with this offer and this refusal of the offer, and then this reverse justice here, something feels very unfair here, or dishonest, or unclear, or maybe there was like some sort of shady behavior, or it seems like there was shady behavior, something lacked integrity, and that there may be some lies. And so this is like this dichotomy I'm seeing, and normally I don't see this with this is unusual that I see this with this King of Cups, this dichotomy between either your hope or your fear, or this internal, or something is supposed to be this way and it's not. There's just the King of Cups and the Ace of Cups are just looking like polar opposites, right? But if we're going on, like, the Ace would be right before the King in some ways of reading this. They would be next to each other, and they would be, one leading to another on this cycle here. If we're talking like playing cards or something like that, or, a small straight or something like that. But they're not. Like, there's something, the inside isn't matching the outside. The outside's trying to mask something on the inside. And maybe that's a little bit of the dishonesty I'm seeing with this Justice card, is that masking of what's going on inside, or how you think you should feel, or what should have happened. Or, yeah, something feels just really unfair here. Injustice. In your... what's going on externally that you might not be aware of is someone may have a sense of hopelessness. Someone may not feel... I just feel like someone was stuck. Like their hands were tied in a way that they felt that their hands were tied, that there wasn't anything they could do about the situation. Like, some part of the situation either has you feeling trapped and feeling like maybe trapped into displaying something you don't feel, or trapped into the strategy is to keep things steady and to not let anyone know what's going on inside. So your situation may have you feeling like you can't say anything, or you can't do anything, right? But they're free to go. It's just that they don't understand that they're free to go. So someone here may have felt like their hands were tied in a situation, is just what I'm seeing. They may have felt that way, whether you see it that way, or whether that's like ultimately some sort of cosmic truth, which we have here, of the situation. That's what it seems like to you, is like maybe they had the freedom of choice, but they didn't see it that way. That they had choices here. This could also be this whole reading so far reminds me of like how beauty pageants, and how they have they crown the winner, and part of the drama is watching all of the losers on stage. They don't get to hear this news. Like, even like the Oscars are different. People are sitting in their seats, at least. They're not like all the potential winners of the Oscar aren't up on stage, so we can see how much like poise they have as we throw this massive disappointment at them, which is a little bit what the beauty pageant is doing, right? We're like, and now we're going to make you all losers in front of all these people, and you have to maintain your poise. How much can you lose in front of all these people? That's what it's reminding me of a little bit here. But like a decision has to be made. Their hands are tied. Not everybody gets to win, right? So, and that's how we do beauty pageants. And so you have to lose in front of an entire audience. That's a little bit of what you sign up for when you do that. So anyway, someone felt like their hands were tied, I feel like, and that, choices had to be made. They didn't see any other option. And there could be someone in your friend group also that feels trapped or doesn't feel free to express themselves, or doesn't feel free to move forward with something, or doesn't feel like they don't feel free to communicate, basically. Eight of Swords is like shut down communication, but shut from the inside. So someone in your friend group or in your circle of people may not feel free to communicate freely. They may feel like they can't say anything. They're not able to communicate they're not able to communicate freely. That may not be true from your perspective, but it's certainly true from their perspective, that they're not able to freely communicate for whatever reason. Your current situation or your to-do list is the Star card. So this would translate into when you are being called to be the star, you're not necessarily being called to be the star of the show. Maybe you are. Maybe you are being called to be the star of the show. But there could be a sense of being someone else's encouragement, allowing when you are someone's star shining on them, the light that's shining on them. The Star card is going to indicate to us that somewhere out in the future, this is possible, right? It goes, the Star card is 17, 18, and 19. So 17 is the star, 18 is the moon, and 19 in our major arcana is the sun. So we have this growing light here, and the sun is the full reception of the blessing. The star is like, it's the sun, but it's very far away. And it's just like this twinkling, this glimmer. This is possible. This is possible. So you could be in a situation where you're the winner, and no one else can say anything, and you have to accept the prize, accept the sash and the crown in this way. Like, maybe inside you're super excited, but you have to also, the winner also has to have that poise. I'm not into pageants, by the way. I think they're a really strange idea, but whatever, it's something our culture does, and it's spread around the world. So some people like that stuff. So, but if you're going to receive that sash and that crown, you still have to have the poise. You can't just go on stage, right? You have to be like, oh, thank you. This is so great, right? You have to like be polite about it. So that's a little bit of what I'm seeing, is some sort of social expectation for politeness. Right. And the other people on stage, they can't say anything. They can't rage. They can't communicate. They can't share their true feelings. So you're either going to be crowned the star, or your job in the situation, depending on, right, it's a general reading, depending on what role you're playing here, and is to be the hope for someone else. So either, and I think all of this involves some sort of public poise that needs to be, there's some sort of, whether that a decision is being made, an offer has been made and accepted or refused. So if the offer is accepted, there's a sense of public poise here. If the offer is refused, if whatever you've offered is refused, there is a sense, though, of needing to give someone hope, like, giving them some, I wouldn't say platitudes, be more genuine than that, especially with this King of Cups here. We need to be genuine with our platitudes here, but encouraging someone like, you didn't, I know you're going to succeed anyway, even if you didn't get this, you'll be great. So there's some sort of sense where you're being a blessing and encouragement to someone else. And this is going to take a huge, or maybe you're offering congratulations to someone. I knew you could do it even though you didn't get the thing. So there's something here where it's just taking no matter how you feel inside, you need to be really nice about it. That's what I'm seeing here. This King of Cups showing like huge amounts of emotional maturity. This Star card being a blessing to someone else even. And so someone else may be feeling defeated. Well, internally you're feeling excited, or internally you're feeling something, and someone, yeah. But there's this offer and this sense of injustice. So, and then possible outcome, Page of Cups, exploring your feelings and your emotions. That's like, it's almost like if you're like being, having this poise on stage, and then going home and really exploring how you actually feel about it. There will be a time in the future where you get to actually be very honest and curious and explore all of your feelings. Here's this, our fourth cup here. We have 5 cups. Oh my gosh. We have a Page of Cups, a King of Cups, an Ace of Cups, a 3 of Cups, and a 4 of Cups. Very emotion. This is all about emotions, feelings, possibly relationships, possibly friendships. But this 4 of Cups here, wow, we have 5 cups. This is the cuppiest. This is like a whole set of cups. This is like, wow. This is a lot of cups, a lot of feelings here. So this Page of Cups is, in the future, it's like, you know, for right now, you might have to be, you know, polite and poised, but in the future, you can really dig deep and explore that. So there could also be someone where you're, someone coming in, you may end up being a guiding light as a Star card for a younger person who's going to go on this same journey. You may end up having a mentee, or you just are able to be like, right now you have to be very mature about a situation, and later you can be a lot more immature about it. Like you can go scream and cry in your room, or jump and pop open champagne. So there's a lot of feelings here, a lot of excitement. And I don't know if it's good excitement or bad excitement. I can't tell in this general reading. This Ace of Cups says you really want to be excited about something, but something definitely feels like it's unfair. There's something unfair going on here. So, moved by the call, wild love of my own soul. This is the wild Kuan Yin, by the way. I call upon you. I trust in the process of letting go and the wild, loving life calling me to my divine destiny. I trust in my fearless spirit. So, very cool. All right. I hope that was helpful for you, Virgo. Talk to you later.